Nintendo has been extremely careful not to talk about the NX until the anointed time. Due to the intense levels of silence and secrecy, rumors have been churning for a little over a year now. Interestingly enough, rumors of a new system appeared quite some time before the late Satoru Iwata first made mention of the console. Those rumors actually spoke of a potential hybrid system in the works. While there is still next to nothing known about the Nintendo NX, the factor of it possibly being a hybrid still hasn't been completely removed from the equation. Nothing like this has ever been done before. Nintendo is no stranger to introducing radical new ideas, so not only is this right up its alley, but it could also be the most logical step for the company. The video game industry has been split into two sides for decades: handhelds and home consoles. These two sides have successfully coexisted. However, they're different enough to basically be considered two separate worlds. Nintendo's handheld market has proven to be considerably more profitable than its home console counterpart for quite some time now. For over 2 decades, Nintendo's home consoles have been at the bottom of the pack, minus the Wii. On the other hand, the Game Boy and DS brands have been making waves all over the world. That brings me to my first point. Having a hybrid system would give Nintendo's home console market the helping hand it so desperately needs. Ever since Sony entered the market with the original PlayStation, Nintendo has been steadily losing its footing in the home console market. When Sony entered the handheld race, many thought that the same episode would play out yet again. Unfortunately for Sony, that didn't happen. The PlayStation Portable sold a considerable number of units, but the Nintendo DS happens to be the second highest selling gaming platform of all time. Nintendo is with no question the king of handhelds. If the NX were to be a hybrid, then this prestige would surely help its image. For starters, there are some gamers who prefer handhelds over home consoles, and vice versa. A hybrid system would help bring these two sides together. Another factor to consider, and arguably an even bigger one, is that Nintendo's game development studios would be a whole lot more efficient. Handheld titles are naturally a lot easier to create than console titles. This has led to handhelds getting a higher number of games. This is especially true when you compare the 3DS to the Wii U. While both systems have acquired quite a few amazing experiences over the past few years, the 3DS arguably has the better and more plentiful amount of offerings. It has a larger variety of games and shorter gaps between launches. A hybrid system would allow developers to continue making games the same way they always have, but since there would only be one platform, the consumers would end up getting a more consistent flow of games. A hybrid system would also open a whole new portal for the games themselves. Having a large JRPG like Xenoblade Chronicles on the new 3DS proves that a game of that size can be enjoyed to an even greater extent when more time can be put into it during those uneventful spots in a person's day. The same thing can be said about Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, other titles that were previously restricted to just home consoles. On the flip side, formerly handheld-only titles such as Pokemon would be opened up to the big screen. Developers could even use the platform to encourage players to play their games while on the go and gain perks when they reconnect to the home system, similar to the Dreamcast VMUs. Nintendo themselves would also benefit greatly from having a hybrid platform. Instead of having to mass-produce two different kinds of devices, it would then only be one. This ends up being more cost-effective for the company. Not only would manufacturing costs be reduced, but also marketing. Shelf space would also be able to be used more efficiently. Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima recently stated that Nintendo expects the NX to be profitable from day one. While he didn't specify exactly why this may be the case, focusing only on one platform should prove to be a lot easier than balancing between two. While there are only rumors of the NX being a hybrid system, there are a few factors to take note of that arguably point to these rumors having the potential to be true. For starters, Nintendo announced quite some time ago that it had combined the development teams of its handhelds and home console systems under one roof. Now, being in close quarters, there would be no barriers between the developers, allowing them to collaborate like never before. Another factor to consider, Nintendo's recent rebranding. The company has removed the dedicated Wii U and 3DS sections in many retailers, now simply labeling them as Nintendo. These changes have also come to Nintendo's YouTube channel. Another thing to consider is Nintendo's new slogan, "There's no play like it." While the new slogan has been debuted alongside the announcement of the 2DS's price drop, if the NX is a hybrid, the slogan would be more than appropriate. The last thing to consider, is something that was said by Nintendo itself. On multiple occasions, the NX has simply been described as being a new concept. The description was reiterated by President Tatsumi Kimishima at the company's recent investors briefing back in April. In addition to this, in a recent interview, Mr. Kimishima said that the NX is neither the successor to the Wii U nor the 3DS. It's a new way of playing games. Before his passing, former President Satoru Iwata said, "If you only expand upon existing hardware, it's dull. In some shape or form, we're always thinking about how we want to surprise players as well as our desire to change each person's video gaming life." Taking the aforementioned subtle factors and combining them with both presidents' words, it's hard not to come to the conclusion that the NX is going to be something different in one way or another. While a hybrid system may not be what the NX actually is, the concept certainly does have the potential of being a success for Nintendo.